This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the Still a Man podcast. Tonight's topic, parents just don't understand. Back in 1988, a rapper by the name of Fresh Prince, aka Will Smith, put out a single called Parents Just Don't Understand. And within, what was it, three verses? Two verses, he covered some of the things that are still issue today. And let's just talk about it. Let's get right down to it. So, parenting is constantly evolving. Children are constantly evolving. Society is constantly evolving. So, the parenting styles, we went over that. We talked about that. So, people are changing based upon what society says is acceptable. So let's talk about what's acceptable current day. And you guys can tell me if there is any credence to that statement, parents just don't understand. Because the thing I don't understand as a parent is why are some of these modern parents, these new parents, allowing these children to have so much say, have so much control. All right, let's get that right down to it. Patsy, when you hear that topic, parents just don't understand, what does that mean to you?
It just means that, like you be having issues as a teenager, and as a teenager, you think your parents don't understand what you're going through, because what we went through as kids, we think that some of the stuff is true. Like your parents didn't go through some of the stuff that we were going through in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Still, a lot of the stuff that we did go through, going through puberty and some of the stuff, issues in school and everything, being bullied and this and that, or you being a bully at school or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been through all that, so they understand that we just didn't understand some of the stuff that we went through. They went through because we weren't there when they were growing up.
Okay.
But some stuff that we did go through, they didn't necessarily go through,
Okay.
That's how I look at it.
All right. Tanya, let's get your perspective on that term, parents just don't understand.
Well, why don't you go to some of the guys first? Because me and Patsy are the only females on here.
That's okay. That's okay. That's why I'm giving you guys that pleasure of going first.
Tiana just joined.
Welcome, Duchess. Tanya, do you want me to go to someone else?
No, I'm good.
All right, so let's have it.
So when I was growing up, when I said parents just don't understand, I took it as my mother just didn't want me to do anything. So she didn't understand me because we didn't really have conversations. So that's what I took parents just don't understand as. But having children of my own, and once you become an adult, you try to teach your kids the things that you've gone through and what you learned. But as each generation goes, they think they know more than you do. So when they say that parents just don't understand, it's because, in my aspect, it's because they don't want to hear what we gotta say.
Show snooze. Stop.
All right. Let's get to it, Duchess. Let's get your perspective.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The question is, when you hear the term or the statement, parents just don't understand, what does that mean to you?
It means that kids think that they know something, and for people who've been on the earth for a short period of time, don't know nothing. So, there's plenty of times I said, "Oh Lord," as an adult, like, "Oh, I should have listened to my mother. Oh, my mother knew what she was talking about. Oh, oh, woe is me. I should have paid attention." But I thought I knew everything. I was I thought I was the queen of the hive when I was just a worker bee, and I should have known that then. But hey, you gotta live and learn.
Will you call your mother and your father and give them that tell them that you was wrong?
No, why? They don't need to know that.
Because you're a parent
Right.
now. And all right, go
No,
ahead.
you don't give certain people props. They don't know how to just take it as a compliment. They be walking around with a sash like
You
the
ain't
king
got
or
to
queen.
tell
I
them.
don't
They
need that
already
problems.
know. You ain't got
Right.
to say nothing.
You
They
tell some
already
people
know.
that give them the idea that they can just keep butting into your business.
Oh, y'all sound like a bunch of teenagers, but we're gonna get into that. Let me go to Robert and then to Timmy.
Parents just don't understand. We might have felt that way, and the children of today still probably feel that way, because when you want to do something and they're not trying to allow you to do it, you start to feel that way, that they just want to block your fun. They don't really want to hear what you got to say. They want you to come home, get your homework done, clean your bedroom, wash those dishes, probably cook for your sister or your brother. You got laundry, get it out the bin, put it in the washer and dryer. There's mad chores and stuff that they prefer you to do, and less talking.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Timmy, it's on you.
Now, that term means different things. If you talking about what Will was saying, he was mainly talking about the Joneses, where his mother is buying which she can afford, but he's going to school and people are laughing at him because he ain't got the latest gear. He's rocking some no name gear. That's what he was talking about. Parents don't understand that he's going to school dressed in the clothes that she's buying him that she can afford, but everybody else is wearing Calvin Klein, Adidas, Nikes, Jordan, Sassoons, and stuff like that. So he's going to school getting picked on, laughed at. You know, that's what he was talking about. Parents just don't understand. For me, it's just you want to be a part of what everybody else is wearing, because if you don't
God.
got what they got, you gonna stick out and they gonna point it out. I know that personally from growing up, that's is what it is.
That's
You ain't got the latest phone or the two-way.
Exactly.
that's what brought about a lot of my childhood fights. But all right, let's go to Gregory next and then Bird.
I probably thought of it different when I was younger, but now I'm looking at it as it's a part of our indoctrination through our education. Because, like Tanya was just saying, the kids think that they're smarter than their parents, because when you go to school, they're telling you that they're teaching you an advanced level than the people that came before you. So they're doing that every year and it keeps going. It's like they're trying to advance civilization, but you got these kids that think they know more than their parents and all this crazy stuff going. And sometimes they might have been taught a little bit more than their parents. So
Well,
I
They're
think
supposed to know.
I
They're
think it's a part of
supposed to
that.
know more than what your parents
They're
know.
making our world like an algorithm, and it's supposed to be that way, even though that's kind of like a sin from the Bible to go against your parents.
mm,
The young is always supposed to be smarter, but the elder is more wiser. You understand? That's the difference from being smart is being wise about being smart. You
mhm.
dig? So
No, I
you can
understand all of that, big dog. I
you
just
can
was saying,
have
I think
these you can
that's the
have
leaks
young
in our
dudes that
society.
are very intelligent and very smart, but when it comes to wisdom, they don't got
Good
that.
sermon too.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get Bird's perspective.
I think we all grew up in the culture believing that our parents didn't understand us, and so on and so on and so on, and generational stuff. But a couple of people threw it in. It becomes more of an experience thing. Kids do believe they know more, or they want to know more, because at some point you couldn't tell me nothing. I'm grown. I'm living my life,
Mm-hmm.
even though I ain't grown. But at the end of the day, some of the stuff that didn't make sense back then does make sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff you didn't like, you want to grow to be different and better and do different, but some of it actually makes sense. And I believe now, general generationally, we're not allowed to discipline our children as we were back then and our parents back then. And again, generational in the back, you need that ass whooped. You need that fear instilled to get you to understand the point of view. I don't believe most parents raising their children are doing things to hurt them. They're doing things with the notion to help and to guide and to support them to where they don't make the same mistakes we made or our parents made or our grandparents made. So I just believe, every generation is going to grow up to believe their parents don't understand what it is to be young. But guess what? Everybody was young. Everybody struggled. I think past generations have more experience in life than these kids are ever going to have, because these kids aren't growing up in that struggle in life. And that one loaf of bread got to last a week, or that gallon of milk is going to last you 3 weeks, where kids will eat a loaf of bread in a day and a gallon of milk in 2 days. And I just don't believe, as we get older in culture and generations form, we're just going to slide away from some of that real parenting that was happening, because kids think they know it all and do talk back and get flipped, because there is no real I don't want to say no real consequence, but no physical consequence to your behavior as it is before. You talk back to your parents. When I grew up, you get your shit slapped. You might start leaking in your mouth. You slap your kid now, you going to jail.
Yeah.
You're not gonna just slap me in my mouth and I'm gonna be leaking in my mouth. I'm gonna let the blood flow. Somebody gonna see something. I'm gonna leave some stains. Make you work for that.
Yeah.
Um.
There's a lack of respect.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Let's bring Sean into the discussion.
After Sean answer, I want to go back to Tony's lack of respect.
Mm-hmm. Sean.
All right. Yes. For me, it was a little bit different because in my family there was huge age gaps between the children and the adults, and amongst ourselves, meaning the children. So we pretty much grew up with our adults, watching everything that they did and listening to their stories.
Mm-hmm.
And the stories that we used to listen to was based off of them being young, getting up to the place where they are at that time. And so when I got to that age that they used to talk about, those were the things that I wanted to experience. So I never had that. I never had a situation with an adult or with my parents or anybody to where I was doing something and they chastised me or whatever the case may be, and I had that feeling like they didn't understand what I was going through because I heard their stories.
Okay.
So everything that you all have spoken of, I've never experienced that. I've never had that, like I heard that saying, but it didn't pertain to me. Because any and everything that I ever went through, I knew my parents understood what, how I was feeling, how I was going to deal with it. Because I've heard their stories all my life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go back to Robbie said he wanted to ask Tanya. But
Well,
Robbie,
yeah, the lack of respect. I kind of feel the reason why children had a lack of respect for their parents is because they allow their children to come aboard on their level at times. When you sometimes sit here and hold a grown conversation with your child, you make them feel like they're on your level. When you open up a can of beer or wine or something and you let them have a sip out of your glass or your can, they feel like they're on your level. You're starting to let them do grown-up stuff and talk like a grown-up. They want to wear makeup. You allow them to share your makeup, put on eyelashes, or put on some high heels where the little girl shouldn't really be wearing the high heels at that age, but you're making her look more and more like she's an older lady or say an 18-year-old instead of a 7-year-old. So it's the things you do with your children, bringing them on your level where they're supposed to be still on theirs. That's where the lack of respect start to come in.
now stay right
Well,
there.
let me respond to that because I mean, because you could be your child's friend and y'all can have the shared, do some sharing of liking the same things, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna allow them to disrespect you. There's a line.
Right. It's
How
definitely a
could they
line.
respect? How could they respect you and they're being allowed to do grown up stuff? They don't fear you no more or take you serious because they think they're on your level.
So
that's not true.
Let me say this to you. So because I want to go back to what Timmy said about the fashion and stuff, but I also want to cover the respect part. So I want you guys to remember these words: control, common ground, and communication. You can put it in whatever order you want to put it in. C. Control, I'll say control, communication, and common ground. Those are the keys to a successful relationship with your child when parenting. Those might be the keys to any type of successful relationship that you would have or that you would prefer to have. Now, let's go back to what Timmy was saying about these the clothing and stuff like that. Now, when we was growing up, and you guys can share your experiences, how many of you got to go to the store and pick out the clothes that you want, as opposed to your parents bringing home the clothes and that's what you was going to wear because that's what they spent their money on and that's what they felt they could afford, and they didn't care nothing about what everybody else was wearing. This is what you wearing first day of school and every day after that. Who had that? Who amongst this panel, on this panel, that was able to pick out their own clothes? And I'm not talking about 1990s. I'm talking about back in the 70s and in the 80s.
Yeah, but what age group you're talking?
Because see, you making me want to say you guys' age. That's why I said the
You
same.
don't have to say the age, but you can say when you was around 8 or
But that's
10,
what. But
was you
what did
allowed to pick your?
What did I just say? Just make it like do the
Well,
old,
I'm the youngest,
old
and
personal calculation.
That's
I
what I'm
didn't get
trying to
to
tell
pick
him.
out my clothes.
He couldn't
That's
pick out
why.
nothing in the 70s
Okay,
and
so
80s.
I didn't
wait,
pick out my clothes in the 90s.
wait. Before you guys get
Because
argumentative, listen to what I just said. Well, listen to what I just said. The 70s, and I really said not the 90s. I said the 70s and the 80s. So that would pertain to the majority, not Gregory, because he's the youngest panel member. So I'm gonna ask, I'm just gonna go around the room, do it this way. So Robert, since you brought it up first, at what age was you able to go to the store, pick your clothes out? As
That's
opposed
a lot better.
no, that's the way
It's easier. It's easier for us all to answer that same question. Now, I'm going to answer that question. Uh, see, see.
But it was
You
easier,
can't
and you're
remember
having
her.
difficulty.
It's because mom still was going to the store for us. The only thing we was able to pick out at around maybe 11, 10, maybe 9, 10, 11 years old was sneakers. We was able to go get like some footwear with our older brother. But when it came to clothes at that age, she still was kind of getting our clothing. She was getting our clothing.
Okay. So I'm gonna let your older brother answer that. Timmy, at what age was you able to go to the store and pick out your own clothing, including footwear?
When I was 16.
You see?
And so how many years are you older than Robert?
I'm 5.
Now think about that.
Now you think about that.
I said, didn't I tell y'all 9, 10, 11? Well, I know what ages I said.
Now I'm gonna tell you this. I think I'm gonna say that I'm gonna contradict what both of y'all are saying, because I remember being in middle school and we was I one of my most disrespectful fights was and I shared this with you guys before, because I had on a pair of jocks. And that was in middle school. So you are but 1 year behind me. So you're not going to tell me that you was picking out your own sneakers at that age. We're gonna
I said, let me clear the answer. I said, with my older brother, we would go to Mattapan Square and we would hit that little small sneaker store and go up in there.
It was called Lewis's. It was called
All
Lewis's.
righty.
Now, see, you got hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but I have to get him and Timmy straight real quick, because I can't allow them to act like my feelings don't exist. So I will tell you, I know that your math is off, because I remember us
No,
going
that's when
into
you was a little bit older,
I remember
and
going
we
to
was with
Lewis
Bird
store.
and them. When we was burying them in the soda bus and you was crying.
See, here you go again. You repainting history. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking. You trying to throw me off so I don't correct you. We go to the store, and my mother gave us a certain amount of money, and Timmy, at the age of 16 probably, or 15, he decided that he was going to take all of our money, put it together, buy the sneakers he wanted first, and then point us to the sneakers that was on sale at that time. So wherever they was, you had to pick out what was left with the money, because Timmy said, "This is what y'all can afford right here. I'm going over there."
And that made me at that time around 10.
He bought himself some Adidas sneakers. And I remember,
Dave.
Well,
My first pair of sneakers were Nike, quarter cut Nikes.
Okay, so
they
you
were
saying
tan. They was the 10 quarter cut Nike, like cloth, like.
I don't remember them being.
very
I don't
well.
remember them being Nikes. I remember them being top.
They were
10.
Nikes. They were Nikes. They wasn't no top 10. They were Nikes, quarter cuts.
Okay, I could be wrong about the brand, but I know I was wearing Nikes, and I know whatever you got cost more than what I could afford.
That was the second pair. That was for the second pair later. I think that was during springtime or something like that.
Now, before we go on, I want the record to reflect.
No, it was back to
everybody in attendance. I want y'all to hear. Y'all heard the admission, right? He never said that he did not take our money. He said that was the second time. So now that's an admission that he took our money and spent it on expensive sneakers for himself and pointed us to the wall where things was on
Was
sale.
on sale.
So I'm gonna go to the rest of the panel, and I'm too bad Josie and Maria missed this because we just had this
Josie's on
conversation.
there.
Josie's in.
Yeah,
Okay.
Josie's here.
Comment.
Okay, so
She commented
Josie,
as soon as she came in.
Josie, you ready to share?
Share what my experience was. What was my mom buying my clothes, or
Yes,
was
and if you can shed some light on what we was just discussing about someone on the panel taking our money and pointing us to the lower budget stuff.
he did that
They
quite
didn't go.
often.
They didn't go. They didn't go shoe shopping
So
with
we
us.
all,
Y'all
yeah,
go
we all
again,
did. We all
revising
went.
history.
We all went to Lewis. We all went to Lewis's shoe
Tell them
store,
again,
whatever it's
Josie.
called. And Timmy's right. Lewis always had like buy one, get one half off or something like that. So Timmy used to put us onto that. And then he used to go and get his own buy one, get half off. Because me and Maria used to be the buy one, get one half off. So that's our shoes for the school year. Robert and David, and Timmy used to get his own 2 pairs.
But
He'll buy one, get his own.
But we're talking about the story where Timmy took all of our money and we had to get what was on sale.
Oh yeah, I stopped playing with him after a while. I just started getting shoes from out of
I
there.
knew it wasn't in my head.
That was
No,
only.
he would pay for everybody's stuff, and whatever was left over, he used to put all of that towards his purchases.
Okay, so now that you done cleared that up, go on and share us with your experience. Was you able to buy your own clothes? I mean, pick out your own clothes during the 70s and 80s, or did you wear what was brought home for you?
The majority of those years, I was wearing what was brought home to me. You better respect it or forget it. There was times when my mom used to take us into the stores with her, and then you weren't promised to get what you wanted then.
As long as you know.
But yeah, I wore skirts and slips and all that stuff for a long time. Not that I wanted to, but I was told to, so that's what it was.
Exactly.
And if I can intervene, did you hear the statement or the warning that went something like this? You don't want nothing. You can't. You don't need nothing. You go here, don't touch nothing. But if the words might have been a little bit more harsh, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, they got something like that on Facebook right now. When we go over to Auntie Carol's house, I tell you right now, you not hungry. No, you can't spend the
Oh
night.
yeah, I seen that video.
Come and spend the night over here. I said, I remember these conversations.
Right?
See, and that
Don't ask for nothing because you ain't gonna get nothing.
See, so y'all all remember that. So Josie, all right, let's go to let's go to Patsy. Patsy, was you able to pick out your own clothes?
For the most part, no. There was like maybe an occasion like Easter or something. My mother would take us to a certain store and y'all pick out one Easter outfit and that's about it. But as far as like clothes for the school year or shoes for the school year, we might have been able to pick out a pair of shoes because we all went to the shoe store with my mom, just so like she could have the clerk measure our feet so she could get the right size shoes. And we might like pick out a couple of shoes and whichever ones that she was being able to afford to pick up and to buy, that's what we got.
So how old was you when you got your first pair of name brand?
Name brand, what? That ain't even a thing with my mom. You get what you get. A lot of times we went to Payless or Tomakin or whatever was the most inexpensive
we did too.
place at the time. That's what. Nope. Y'all ain't gonna be fussing about it. If they pick at you for your shoes, oh well, tell them my mom bought this stuff. We ain't had no control over name brands. So shoot.
Sound like a fight to me. Bird. Let's go to Bird because he always got an interesting story. So Bird, when you was growing up, was you allowed to pick out your own clothes?
Well, I think I can agree with everybody else. Back when I was very young, I mean, elementary and maybe very early into middle school, like sixth grade, I had no choice because I had no control or no money.
Right.
You know, you kind of got what you got, but you know, after my mom passed, it was all about me and making my own money to buy my own shit. So I'm saying around 12 years old is when I started buying my own shit, picking my own shit, and had a say in what I wore. But no, at younger than 12, I had no say. You get what I got, you get what we can afford, or that's just what it was. You try to make it work and do what it do. You know, I had a brother, we kind of swapped around different clothes, so I got to wear some of his and he might have wore some of mine. But again, when things took a tragic turn in my life, it no longer became an issue for me, and I became my own person and my own man at a very early age.
So you didn't get hand-me-downs. You got me hand-me-down right now. Like I'm gonna wear that today. You wore it. We swapping. That's what you had.
I probably just took some of Danny's shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, you sound like you sound like my siblings.
Well,
it was there.
You
I mean,
see, you
everything
heard what
wasn't,
she.
it wasn't, and this is
Let-
where I'm coming
there,
from
yeah.
as far as this is where I'm coming from as far as some of these kids think parents don't understand. You know, we didn't get $150, $200 sneakers and $100
exactly.
jeans that these kids all want and require now. And, you know, parents are going way beyond their means to provide, which our parents went beyond their means just to provide bare minimum for us. I mean, times were harder back then.
What they couldn't
Right.
afford,
You get
period.
$3 an hour, $4 an hour in the 80s. You know, right now your minimum wage is about $15 an hour. So, you know,
My mama had 5 kids. Was no damn way. Every kid was getting $150 to go to the store to go sneaker shopping. You might have got $100 collectively, but you wasn't getting no $150 per person.
That's a lie.
Right
You're not
now.
gonna put my mother underneath for the bus. She definitely gave us enough money to go get some shoes. What was happening?
well, they didn't cost as much
$50.
as they do back
Yes,
then.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
$50.
There was sneakers that was
$50. You get
$19 at Lewis.
I know
$50 the
those are
most.
my first pair of Nikes, courtesy of Tim.
Yeah.
$19.99.
Damn, down to the cents.
$19.99.
Uncle T, you a truly triple T, huh?
I
Terrible.
don't know where y'all from. I didn't know Nike was that big back in the day. We was wearing Adidas and Pumas back then.
Because you was
Right,
privileged.
dig it.
You was
Dig it.
privileged at that point.
Cause that was the sneakers that was booming at that time. Adidas and Pumas.
Nike wasn't on IB League until Jordan took over. That's when they became a big issue then, because I could get that's one of the reasons why I was fond of Nike, because it was what I could afford. So when I could afford to buy more, it was like, I'm comfortable with this. I can get this in every color. Shoe.
Well, y'all had it good.
Okay, so let's go to you, Tanya, since you said we had it good. Was you?
Yeah, y'all had it good because remember, my mom was doing her own thing. My father was up here in Massachusetts and he wasn't sending no child care, he wasn't paying for child support, so I had to get what I could get.
And what's that?
I had hand-me-downs, when I was in elementary school, my mother went and bought my clothes and that's what I wore. When I got to middle school, those years where you start to get a reputation and all that, I had hand-me-downs. I didn't start wearing name brands until I came to Boston to stay with my dad. Before going to the 8th grade is when I started wearing name brand stuff. But my stepmother at that time was still going to the store buying my clothes, but she did at least buy me some names. She let me pick out my shoes and things, what I wanted. But yeah, I didn't start buying my own stuff until I had my first kid and I had a job. That's when I started buying my own clothes, picking out my own clothes and my shoes. That's why when I had my children, I tried to give them everything. But when they started wanting to have those what, as you say, $100 sneakers, they had to get jobs.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna come.
Don't let your pants or your shirt or something get a rip patch. I'm patching it up. I'm sewing it back up, and you gonna wear that.
Yeah. Let's go to Kiana next. Kiana, how old was you when you got to pick out your own clothes, or was you allowed to pick out your own clothes when you was growing up, 70s and 80s?
Probably 8, 10. My mother took us to the store. Well,
how old was you when you got your first pair of Pumas?
I never had no Pumas.
So what was your sneaker of choice? Oh yeah, you was Adidas kid. Go ahead. My apologies.
I was about to say Adidas.
Wait, how old was you when you got your first pair of shell toes?
Wait. Between 12 and 14.
So before that, what was you rocking?
I don't know.
Of course you don't know, because you wore what you was told to wear. Let's go to the next person.
You was wearing Bobos. They made your feet
No,
fly.
I wasn't wearing no Bobos. I was wearing.
I don't think that girls was really into sneakers back then.
We wasn't
right.
into
They was
sneakers.
more
We'd be into
into
shoes or
right.
Y'all had
and then when I started getting, maybe middle school, you're gonna get me my sneakers, and I'm not getting no
Because you
job.
had the gym. You had gym. You had gym. You couldn't, if you didn't have sneakers, then you was flunking in gym because they wasn't letting you do nothing with your shoes on. So you had to have sneakers.
Okay, so let's before I go to Sean, Timmy, you want to share your experience about your sneaker situation in gym?
Oh yeah, yeah, boy. I remember the damn when we went to, I think it was Tom McCann has got some Mac MA 100. They were knockoff Adidas, bro. They was instead of 3 stripes, they were 4 stripes.
You wore your shoes.
I thought I was shining I thought I was a cool motherfucker with 4 stripes and shit. And then got on the basketball court, slide across like I had goddamn roller skates. I was sliding across the floor. Every time I try to go make a slide, I'm sliding. I said, that's it. No more of those shits. When I got my first pair, we got a pair of purple, they were Converses.
And then after that, see, there you go. That's the backstories, guys. That's when he decided, I'm gonna take my younger siblings' money and I'm gonna get me some sneakers that ain't gonna be sliding across the floor. Let's go to Sean. Sean, at what age was you able to participate in the picking of the choosing of your clothes and footwear?
I was able to pick my clothes and footwear when I was in the 4th grade, because it was just myself and my younger brother.
So what was your first pair of name brand sneakers?
My first pair of name brand sneakers that I ever got, and I did not want them, was Nike. My mother brought me those.
Were they on sale?
I don't know. She got them from Lewis's, and she only
they
got
was on
them.
sale.
She got them because I shared this story with you all before, because I was never into the name brand stuff, because I went to school with the with the Caucasian folks, and so I loved my jocks, my Olympians, I even had a pair of
Mhm.
zips. I had a
Those
pair
two.
of zips.
Yep.
What was that? Because I was into
By
the
definitely
commercials. You
showing your age. He
make the
said,
So,
G's in the
so you
ground.
wore the ponies too.
he said
Yeah,
zips. Oh my
I was
Yep.
ponies. I was never
Yep.
Pumas. I didn't get Pumas until I was
ponies.
in middle school, but I was a pony dude. Tony Dorsett, ponies. And so yeah,
Yep.
so because I was from the neighborhood and my mom saw how all the other kids was dressing, she tried to dress us like that, and I wasn't interested in that. And I told you I was penny loafers and jeans and button-down cardigan sweaters. That's what I like.
See, I wish I would have
Plus
known
the
you back then.
Browns.
I would have came to your house and got your choice of clothing, those ponies and stuff like that. At least I would have been okay. I was walking around with jocks, and you just remind me of Olympias and all that other mess.
Man.
Zips.
Yeah.
We had zips too.
Timmy, don't remind me. It's a good thank you, Jesus. I could have been in jail all the fights I got in.
I loved all those sneakers.
These zips and
And my
ponies,
pro kids.
they had grip. They wasn't nothing like them MA 1000, MA 100. They had grip. You could make a cut and don't worry about sliding. Even on the goddamn concrete on the basketball court, sliding. I said, damn, I've never ever wear another pair of damn that. And I wouldn't even get my kids those damn shoes.
That explains why you can roller skate so good. You was used to slide and stuff. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so let's talk about how these kids they say that their parents want to control them. Let's go back to that control situation. So they feel like that you're making their life hard because you're trying to control them. You should have to knock before coming in their bedrooms. They can clean their rooms when they want to. Procrastination is their method of choice. They don't feel like they should move just because you told them to. They want to do it when they feel like they should do it. So if you told them, get up from there and wash those dishes, and they was playing the game, that might cause a problem.
Damn sure is.
Well, we know, Timmy, about you. You've been defiant all your life. So let's talk about this. So again, let's go to. I'm gonna go to one of the ladies first. I'm going to Kiana. She already got an interesting story to talk about her parenting. Duchess.
Yeah.
If your son would have told you, if you told him to get up from there and go wash those dishes, and he said, "I'm playing my game right now. I'll deal with it when I'm done," how would that have been met? What would your approach have been? Kiana, you gotta take the phone off mute. All right, we'll come back to her. I will go to one of the other ladies. Tanya.
Yeah.
So let's go to the scenario with you got to knock before you enter. If they would have told you had to knock before you entered, how would you have approached that situation? The closed door situation.
I pay the bills in here. This is my house, and I'm walking any room I want to. I'm not knocking on any doors unless they teenagers. You know what I mean? And it's a boy. You know, I'm gonna give him that knock. But you ain't gonna tell me.
Give him time to put his thing away.
Right. right. You know, I'm gonna give you that knock, but you ain't gonna say what you want. You know what I mean? You're gonna give me some respect.
So if he told you to go away, I'm busy, I'll deal with you when I choose to.
No, you're gonna deal with me right now.
Damn door not even come off the hinges.
That's what I was
The-
gonna. I was
Then,
gonna
then
draw
the
you.
door, that's when the door gets open. You know what I'm saying?
Benita Brunson would have did more than open. That door would have been talking about knock on the door. She would have knocked it down.
You don't even understand. I've been there.
Timmy.
The door wouldn't have been closed. What are y'all talking about?
Okay, so Gregory, since you want to speak on this situation, when you was growing up, was you allowed to shut your door, let alone lock your door?
I didn't have a lock on my door, but I was allowed to shut my door, yeah, if I wanted to. But
I thought you was about to say you didn't have a door.
I grew up in my mother and Vanita's household. So if I'm playing my game and somebody asks me to do something,
you doing
either
it.
the game's about to get broken. Yeah, exactly. It's about to get broken or unplugged. So you're doing what they're asking you to do.
He didn't give me that scenario because I would have unplugged it and that's it. You getting up to do what I asked you to do.
Okay.
Nigga, you if I'm feeding you, you washing dishes.
Okay, Josie, let's go to you.
That's called paying your way, pulling your weight.
They said
you don't put all the weight on the mother cleaning and cooking. Well, of course you're gonna cook, but you can clean, like Tanya said, if I'm cooking, you clean the dishes. You know, that's only right. She cooked for you, you clean up.
So let's talk about that. Josie, did you have a choice with chores? Did you tell your mother or your father when you was going to clean the kitchen? Even if they went there and after they got finished, after you done already cleaned the kitchen and it was your night to wash dishes, if your dad came home and cooked something and he told you to go, whose turn is it to go in there to wash dishes? Did you get up and go wash those dishes?
He didn't even have to ask whose turn it is. If he said, go and wash the dishes in the sink, I'm going to go and wash the dishes in the sink.
Even if it wasn't your turn?
I wasn't paying no bills.
And you don't pay no booty whooping.
And I wasn't raised to be disrespectful. So if I was asked to do something by my mother or my father, that's what I better get up and do. Now, as we got older.
Yeah, it's laughable at that point, huh?
As we got older, I'm not taking out the trash. You got 3 boys plus their friends upstairs. Go tell them to take out the trash. That's a whole different ballgame for me.
And ladies and gentlemen, let the record show the same tone that she just used just now is what she would have said back then. Now,
I did.
For some of us, it would have been dangerous to talk like that. But
it was dangerous for me. I got hit in the head with a broomstick.
Oh, well, see, I bet you changed your whole attitude after that, right?
No, after I do the cookie jar for Christmas. And then I changed my attitude.
Disrespectful, defiant children to the end. I was never like that. Let's go to Robert next. Okay, Robert, so let's talk about this. Did you have to wash your own clothes when you was growing up, or did your mother wash your clothes for you?
We did laundry. When at a certain age we did our clothes. We even dragged the cots and all up to the laundry mat and dragged them back. So pretty much, she was washing at the early beginning, but stay around because I'm always gonna go back to the 8 to 11 years old, and that was an age range. So
that must have been your favorite year.
No, just that's when hands was on a lot of daggone chores.
Is that the same year? Is that the same year we almost got kidnapped?
Yep.
That's why you remember that year so much.
That was that house.
There was a reason.
Listen, don't debate with me. And at that time, we was in that apartment. And so I'm going to continue to tell you, we had to do a lot of chores. Every night after daggone, we ate, wash those dishes, sweep that floor, mop it, throw that trash out. And we had laundry washed in the washing machine because we didn't have a dryer at that time. Load up those bags and drag them up the street. Bring them back.
Okay. Kiana, are you back?
You forgetting when the damn wash machine went
I
down and
remember
she
all of
had
that. I
to
remember all of
wash
that.
clothes in the sink,
I remember all of that.
brought over the washboard and said and started washing clothes in the sink. Wring
right,
them out, put them in the bag, and take them at the
I'm trying to
laundromat.
tell you.
So me and Patsy was talking about this earlier, and when we was growing up, how many of you guys had food allergies?
Had what?
You see what you
Food
just said?
allergies.
Had what? Like that's a foreign word, huh? A foreign term. How many people had food allergies when we was growing up?
I was
Fortunately, I
allergic
did.
to anything that was nasty, sticky. Yeah.
You ate,
Fortunately,
and
I
you
wasn't
ate it.
allergic to
I
You ate it.
I had to eat it. You ate everything that was put on your plate, or you wasn't getting.
And you started with the vegetables and ended with the meat.
You better not
Yep.
touch that meat. Put that
What?
back. Put
My
it away.
kids still eat like that today.
That's how I eat still.
What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Nita
Yeah.
didn't play.
Let
She
me
did
let me
not
ask
play
you let
about
me ask
that.
you guys this. So what I was alluding to, if you had a food allergy back then, did your mama make an extra meal for you, an extra dish, or did she make an alteration to the meal for you?
Well, I didn't have any food allergies, so
Me neither.
And if you did, you
Neither.
grew out of it because you was eating what you was
You
told.
didn't grow out of it. You was
Yeah.
just
That
sick. You was
Yep.
just
You
you just was
definitely
sick
grew
until
out of it. If any damn allergy you did have, it was gone because you had no choice but to
well,
consume whatever was
that's a
giving
no,
you
lie.
And there was
That
allergy or
is
times I
a
nothing.
threw up a whole
That is
meal
a
in the
lie.
bathroom.
You just acted like you were sick until you was old enough where you didn't have to eat stuff like that no more. Y'all got to talk about some of
well,
the allergies you had.
TJ had a food allergy. He was allergic to shrimp, so I wouldn't fix anything. I would make him something different if we was having shrimp for dinner.
See, that's what you did. But I'm talking about when you was growing up.
Well, I didn't have food allergies, so I ate whatever.
Okay. All right, let me switch it up for you guys, make it easier for you. So let's say there was a dish that you did not like, and this is what she was cooking on this night. Your mama
I
or your
threw it
dad.
up in the bathroom. I just told you.
You would have got a beating.
Stuck your damn finger down your throat. You
Well,
didn't
that's
throw
exactly
it up.
what you did. See, now let me just tell you.
Man, Grams used to make us eat those jumbo bologna hot dogs. I don't know what that was. I had to throw it up in the bathroom.
Now wait a minute. You're not gonna lie on my mother. Now I know for a fact there is no goddamn such thing as a jumbo bologna hot dog. And I don't even
Kicking
eat
pot
hot
pies.
dogs.
My mother used to have to come and save me from Grams making me eat this stuff. I hated
Pot pies. That's what we grew up on.
Yeah,
Pot
because
pies.
Nita, you have
Exactly.
to sit there and eat everything. You wasn't getting up.
To this day.
You was not getting up.
So
I don't care.
if you hear your child crying, it's probably because she's sitting there telling them, and you're gonna eat every bit of it. Your mama
It's
ain't
like
taking you
that with
till she's
all of
done.
them.
Exactly.
It's like that with all of them. They all like that. Uncle's like that too. He poured a bunch of sugar and robbed the cereal, made him eat it. Because he poured the sugar in the shit. And gave him a gorilla pound on the head, bro. That shit had me rolling.
And he made now I know
None of that stuff was cool.
he made Robert eat knockwurst with onions and hot sauce and stuff.
Yep.
Wow.
Again,
I
Oh
told
my
him.
God.
I
That's
told
crazy.
him.
he put all that
My
hot sauce
person's
on his shit.
nasty.
He did it to him twice. Once was the sugar, and then the second one was the hot sauce. He
I
dumped
told
all
my
this
mother
hot
don't
sauce on
feed
his
me like
shit,
that.
and then
Oh,
tasted it, and
God.
then clobbered him upside the head. Why'd you let me put all
Oh
that hot
shit!
sauce?
What you
Now you
tell
better
him,
eat
Robert?
it.
I
What you
told him my
tell him,
mother
Robert?
doesn't feed me like this, and he still punched me upside the head.
See?
Yeah.
See what I'm telling you, Patsy?
The
A
food they
pure
made y'all eat back then was scary. Spam,
Listen,
what
we
is
had
that?
good meals downstairs in Auntie Dottie's house at
Doctor's
that
house,
time.
right?
We was
yeah.
having baked hamburgers with
Unfortunately, we was up
lettuce,
in
tomatoes.
the school of hard knocks upstairs.
Wow.
I mean, and if we tried to go downstairs, it would there was a problem. We wasn't sleeping.
We was having Papa Gino's. Y'all
Shut
crazy.
up, Josie. Don't rub it in. All right, so let's talk about
That's
this
Auntie Dottie.
communication.
We upstairs with Uncle.
You hold up. I didn't. I'm sorry, Sean. I didn't ask you and Bert because you guys didn't answer when I said it though. Did you have any food allergies? Did anybody make alterations to the meals for you?
I didn't have any food allergies. The only food that I thought I had a problem with my mom was her meatloaf when I was young. Because I got sick one time, brought it back up, and ever since then I thought I had an issue with meatloaf.
Do you eat
Not
it now?
now, just back, not now, but back then. So
who cooks meatloaf for you now?
You didn't want the mystery meat, huh?
No, yeah, no, nobody makes meatloaf for me now.
Do you buy it? Do you go in a restaurant and order it?
Not at all.
You traumatized. You
No, not even
traumatized.
traumatized. That just wasn't my thing.
Okay. What about you, Bert?
I didn't have any food allergies. I think back growing up in the 70s, there was no such thing.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I ain't
Right?
never known
It
growing up.
wasn't.
You
It
better
came over
believe
your
it.
vaccine. Excuse me.
I don't remember any food allergies either.
Maybe peanut butter, but it was very rare. I think one kid had a peanut allergy, but
Yeah.
Dominic?
But you gradually,
back then, or nobody
you
knew. You know what I
gradually
mean? It's not
see,
like it was
you know what?
anaphylaxis. People's throat closed
Oh,
up, but
we knew Dominic had a peanut allergy or whatever, but you know, kids is cruel. We used to torture him. I remember one day we was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and Dominic usually have a jelly sandwich. He went to go turn around, and Robbie stuck a gob of peanut butter in his sandwich. Because again, Robbie was always doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing.
Robert, why would you do that?
He was trying to kill him.
Oh,
yeah.
Nah, because
I'm
like Bird
just
said,
know.
in the 70s, it was unheard of. Even if you said, even if, oh, baby, you got a couple of, you look like you breaking out. Here, put some of this Eucerin on there, slap that on there,
Well,
and then
let's put some
whatever
Vicks
they
on your chest
gave
and
you.
cure your asthma.
Mm-hmm.
Suffocate you with Vicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
But Josie, no, you don't. So let's talk about that. Because when we was growing up, did your mother spend a lot of money on medication and stuff like that, or did they give you a home remedy?
Home remedies.
It was all about home remedies back then,
Home
though, for
remedies.
everybody. You know, we couldn't afford shit like that back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember.
Man,
I
listen.
remember
It's
my
something
cousin.
that was passed down through
Or it's just in
generations.
your DNA. It's passed down. Like
I
you
remember
said.
my
Right.
cousin getting a cut on his leg, and my grandmother put a spider web on it.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
oh my.
What type
And
of
what did
voodoo
that?
is that?
What was that?
Voodoo?
No, it closed up the
Stitches?
daggone cut.
Yeah.
What was
it's
that? What's that
stitches.
called?
Goddamn witch doctor.
You're so stupid.
No, I
Since y'all
I
talking
got
about
Indian. I got Indian in me.
Oh
I think
yeah, well, you
you're
lucky
talking about
they.
the home remedies, and parents definitely just didn't understand. They are the reason why some of this homo stuff is going on. Cause sticking bars of soap up their boys' butts back then,
So you want to
giving
share?
them
You got a
enemas.
story you
Oh,
want to share?
macaroni.
Yes.
Yep,
So
that
Yeah,
this
was
is
yeah.
big,
why
Bob.
some of the
a what?
babies are turned out at a young age.
Wait,
Man, I didn't get that
Y'all
treatment.
was giving them. I think it was
Hold
called
on, everybody.
enemas.
That's a
Hold on,
stretch.
everybody. Pause.
It was called enema.
I think
Something
Rob
like
is
that.
trying to come out on our platform. So you trying to come out? You trying to tell us
Dang,
something?
dog,
Dave,
they done stuck a
Dave,
ball ivory up your butt.
all of y'all had that done to
No,
you when
don't
you
try
couldn't poop.
to
Don't
try to
even
add us all.
don't.
You're coming out
It's the
party.
truth.
Depository, you mean
Yes,
a
all of that.
depository?
All of that.
Yeah, they did that when you was babies. Yeah.
Yes,
No, I
and
don't
that's
remember
what
Ain't
that
messed up
no,
experience.
everything.
ain't no way, dog. No way.
I
No
don't
way.
remember that
Gregory, you was a
experience.
victim of it too.
No
Look
way.
at you.
No. You
You
go
just
to
trying to
court.
name everybody in your. That's sad.
Parents just don't understand. what they was doing back then, huh?
And
Right.
just
No,
They
they
put they
didn't.
would
I
put
could have
butter on you.
died.
They put butter
Could
on
have
your
died
burn, knowing
several
that they
This
was
times.
is
burning you
rape.
some more.
Yes. Oh, bird. Yes, that was
Let's put some
that was
butter on your burn. That's a third
yeah,
degree burn. That butter's oil, and it's just burning the shit out of you even more. They just didn't have a clue back then.
now you know
That
that
was just what they did. That was the home
Yeah,
remedy. You get burned, put butter
right.
on it.
now
yeah.
you
Butter
now
on it, yeah.
now you know if you
Go
use
on,
any of
baby. Put
these.
some butter on there. Go back
Yeah,
outside and play.
Now you
burn the
know if
shit
you
out of you.
now if you
Wonder
know
why
if
your
you
shit keep burning.
now you know if you use any of these home remedies today, they consider it as neglect, child abuse, right? How you gonna explain to the
Say.
doctor you put butter on his third-degree burn?
I mean, nobody does it anymore. No one's
I
doing
put
that
butter
Not that
anymore.
on
we
my
know of.
birds when I
No,
burn them
Uh,
sometimes.
now I did
Good luck.
see in.
Still
Now I
hot.
thought it was just in goddamn cowboy movie where they pour liquor into the wound. When I saw my cousin Dennis, God rest his soul, he he went and did a flip over the porch and split his whole damn palm of his hands open. So his father came home. He had some Southern Comfort that he was drinking. He had a
that's
pint of
sweet.
Southern Comfort and he poured the shit in his damn wound. And then, he bandaged his shit up. I was like, damn,
Now
they
see
really
that
did
ain't
That's
that?
that
sweet though.
you mean to
Yeah.
tell me back then,
This is terrible.
and this is what I'm talking
It
about, it's
probably
twofold.
wasn't. I think it was gin. I think it
He
was
thought enough
gin.
of his son to spill some liquor on his woods because most dudes back then wasn't wasting their liquor.
I think it was about a hospital bill
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I swear I could have been dead a couple of times.
Is
You
that why
want
you
to
like
bang?
coffee?
No, seriously, you want to bang on my back? It's not working. It's not working.
It
I'm
was
telling her
called,
all the time it's not working.
what
And
they tell
then
you was called chest eating?
Control it. Control
right,
it. You can
control it.
Yeah,
control
That's
it.
that
all.
too.
That's all I remember is control. Timmy, you laughing, but that is definitely all she used to say is control it, control
Yeah.
it. And then she would
Damn
take
near
me to
killing you.
she would take me to mom's house. No, I should have never been transported from my house to my grandmother's house because
Should have
when
went
I
to the
got there,
doctor.
exactly when I got there, she would put Vicks on me.
Right?
Um, to this day, I
What
got a
was wrong
problem.
with you?
I had
He had
asthma.
asthma.
To this
Oh
day,
my God.
to this day, I don't like that minty stuff. I didn't like the minty stuff. Like I can go inside of like a steam room with that stuff floating up in the air, but don't put Vicks on me. Don't come around me with it because I know what it is. It's like, ugh. But I could have.
Traumatized.
Let me tell you, after she put all the Vicks on me, it was like a whole night. Woke up the next morning. Guess where I ended up at?
The hospital.
The emergency room where I should have went
Mm-hmm.
in the first damn place.
Yeah, and people don't believe in God. Thank you, Jesus, because
The
they would
medicine
give
I
you
needed wasn't in Vicks. It wasn't in banging on my back. It wasn't none of
coffee.
that. I needed a treatment.
Don't forget about
Right.
the coffee treatment.
Mm.
Coffee, all of that. They used to give me black coffee, nothing in it. Black coffee. It was
Just,
torture, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, did see that?
Oh.
There you go, Tanya. You go back to
Mm.
that Indian blood. That was that witch doctor stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And then when
No.
I came home finally with medication, I don't know what that stuff was called, but it was so nasty. She used to
Primatine.
crush it up. She used to crush it up and put it in my chocolate milk. And I used to like chocolate milk because when you get at the bottom of it, it's all chocolatey.
Mm-hmm.
when I get to, when I used to get to the bottom of my cup, it used to be chalky with meds, and I used to be like, ugh. So I don't drink chocolate milk to this day.
Okay, so
Wow.
let's talk about how these kids feel like that your money is their money and their money is their money. So they feel like that. So have you ever had a conversation with a kid where the kid is telling you, you can't control me. This is my life and I'm gonna do what I want to do. But then when it comes time to buy clothing and stuff, remember the same person told you, you can't control me. This is my life. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Now you gotta take care of him. It's a whole different conversation.
Oh,
You gotta take care of me because I'm not an adult. But these are the same kids that would tell you that I'm not a little kid. I can do what I want. You can't control me. How do you guys deal with that situation? Did you ever have your children talk to you like that, Bird?
Motherfucker, no. That wasn't an option. I mean, it ain't about controlling, but you living in my house, you doing what I'm saying. You can be 14 years old and support yourself, then you grown and you can get the hell out of my house. But if I'm supporting you, you're gonna do what I tell you to do. I am gonna quote unquote control what's going on. I'm gonna control the environment. I'm not controlling you as a person. I'm controlling the environment that I'm around.
Right.
So no, nobody ever got to that point. I mean, it was an earlier age, but nobody got to that point with me where you're telling me you can't control me and I don't, leave me alone or whatever. But then when it comes time to buy clothes, I'm supposed to. Nah, that wouldn't have been my answer. If you want to be uncontrolled, then you can support yourself.
Okay. Did you ever have that conversation with your dad?
About him not controlling me?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I mean, he tried to rule with an iron fist, but like I said, when the tragedy came into my life, I was forced to grow up with nobody to control me. So when you come back around, you don't get a say in my life anymore. You left me. You left me to fend for myself, and you come back around, you don't have a say anymore in my life. My life is mine, and none of that matters anymore.
Right. Gregory, did you ever have a situation when you was growing up where you tried to tell your mother that you ain't no little kid and you can do what you want to do, but then when it came time to go clothing shopping or you had to get something to eat, you
That just sounds ridiculous. I don't even think I'd be living. My mother would have probably stabbed me.
Okay. So it just never happened with you. What about you, Josie?
What about me? What?
Did you ever have a situation where you told your mama you was grown and then the next breath you told her she had to take care of you because you was underage?
Let's get this understood. What year was it that you became a CIT at camp?
14.
14. So at 14, I'm gonna say I pretty much started taking care of myself and paying my own way.
With $100?
With $100, it was like I had to do what I needed to do with that.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
And so when y'all be like, you purchase your own clothes, I purchased my own clothing. I did.
Yeah, and it probably consisted of one pair of Nikes that was on sale, a couple of pair of pants, and a shirt.
It consisted of me shopping. It consisted of me shopping throughout the summer while I was there at their stores out there where we were at camp. But
wasn't nothing. You talking about when we went to the mall in Amherst?
Oh yeah, wherever we was, or even to what's that store called? Stewart's.
Oh, you remember that was their Bradley Zairs and stuff like that.
I remember those days. But definitely no, when my mom was taking care of me, there was no way I was leave me alone, I'm grown. Hey, can you buy me a pair of sneakers? No.
So what about as a parent? Did your child ever try to try that with you?
And oh no. I wasn't even gonna say and still be sitting here talking to y'all on the podcast. Why? I'm just saying no. Gregory, when he was coming up, I would like to think that all of them,
I
Gregory,
learned very well. We
Bobby,
was taught to
and
behave.
Jamel, they was very respectful. It wasn't.
Yes, they were. They were good kids.
I'm not trying to take nothing away from or make brag or nothing like that, but we had a community raising these boys.
No, they were good kids.
Do you want me to tell the truth?
Yeah, you gonna tell the truth about someone else, about yourself. Let's go to you.
I'm gonna tell the truth. My mom's, I don't think I had a problem with this lady. I mean, she raised all of us almost by herself and did the best she could have done. So me fixing my lips to say I don't have to listen to you and you're gonna still buy me stuff because I'm underage. I don't think that was. We didn't have that conversation. I try to
We would
help
have
her.
got beaten.
I try to help her, but I watch my siblings and them go through hardship. So I can say I've seen some things, and for my nephews down to my son, and they had their moments, but they learned. It was a learning process. So no kids could sit up here and tell me it was a perfect relationship with their moms and with words. You had an outburst. Some parents would consider they're just expressing
But not
themselves.
about no clothes. Ain't no way I'm
Listen,
about to sit
clothes
there
been
and
ripped
do
off of
something like
people.
that.
Clothes been
Yeah,
ripped off of people.
it's a
Clothes
different
been
subject.
daggone taken from kids. There's a lot of stories. So there was experience. You had a grown experience.
Now, when she
It
ripped off
wasn't
some
ripped
clothes,
off.
that
It was
was
cut
something
off.
totally different. Like I just told you, if
It
I
was
would have
cut
had
Listen,
something
off.
there
like
was
that to
rules
my
you had to
mother,
abide
she
by.
would
Let's
have
get it
stabbed
straight.
me.
If they were cut off of him. You
Yes,
don't want
and
to go to
those
school. You don't want to
Allegedly,
do what you're supposed to do.
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
listen, there was rules that
This
parents
ain't
had.
no alleged. This is coming
Now,
from the hood. I'm telling you what
now
happened.
here,
Is this
inspector
is
here.
this
That's how
my
you know I
story
didn't say
or
that stuff.
this is my story?
Your
There,
story's always
there was
follow someone else though.
there was rules your child you set them to abide by. When they broke those rules, the parents showed them their other side. I know, I know when my son told me, I can talk about my son and my daughter both ways. I'm gonna tell you maybe the worst two experience I had as a parent with them talking back. One day I got up, I said, yeah, I want him to go to school on time. Get him to school on time. You gotta go to school on time. So let me wake him up a little bit earlier. He can take a shower, eat some food, do all his things. He told me, get away from his door.
Here we go.
I said, get away from your door. I said, listen, Bob, you got to get up. It's early enough for you to do your, 1-2 punch. Just I know I can wake up on my own. I said, okay, I'm gonna go back in my room and give him 10 minutes. Give him 10 minutes. I'll get back up. I'll go to the door, ask him, is he ready? Because I'm trying to, reason with him. You go to school, have a good day. So he told me, I'll get up on my own. I don't need you to keep coming here like an alarm clock. I said, boom, because I gave that door a flying knee. And he got up. He came out like he seen a ghost. I said, you don't want to challenge me. I said, I need you to go to school and have a good day. Such
But
and
you
such. I said,
talking about
bow.
when we're teenagers, 15,
Listen,
16,
you're still
17.
a child. You're still a
Yeah,
child living with your mother or your
yeah.
father. We're paying the bills. We're making the great decisions for you. At least we pay.
And
So
Well,
cooking and cooking
yeah,
I've been
pudding.
working
and
since I
and
was
and and
14,
and
Uncle
and
Rob.
and, and, and he did whatever type of work or whatever he's supposed to do, but he didn't want to go to school, and that's what I needed him to do at that time. So he gave me some lip. So I smacked him. And because he know how to play on me, this way he yelled out real quick, oh my eyes. I said, now see what you made me do? You know how I feel about bitches. So I felt
You
bad
knocked his
after.
fucking vision out.
Listen,
You hit him
my
in his
friend comes
eye.
out his room. He tell me, Rob, go take a walk. I walked around the block 2 times. When I came back, I said, where is he? He said he went to school. I said, okay. We could have just handled that a little bit different because I wouldn't have to put my boots or my sneakers on to handle a smart ass. Now, with my daughter, we get all the way downtown and she meant it. We get down there, go shopping for some sneakers. She said, Dad, get this, get that. I said, baby, we can get 2 pairs with this amount. I'm like, Dad, I want just one. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, you embarrassing me up in this store? No. I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm going home. Walked out the door. Left her in there. She was pissed off. She had to look for me. She tried to find me downtown. I was trying to make it to the cab stand. I do not like to be embarrassed. I'm doing something out of my heart for you. And that's the way I felt on that day. She found me around the corner somewhere. She done used the security officer's phone to call me and everything, looking for me. I was standing out there
Now
talking to
she's
her uncle.
worried about your health now.
Yes. So, but there's what I'm saying. The point in all that is your child will say some things, and it's how you deal with it.
Okay.
It wasn't because Lay said something to me. It was because I was breaking my neck. I could have lost my job. I was dropping him
Yes,
off
and
at school,
they
and
manipulated the situation like they was in
he
school
would
and
just
wasn't.
wait until I drive away and just do the dumbness. So it came time for me to draw the line. It was like, hold tight. I got to be mommy and daddy right now.
And let me just
So
go
yeah,
back to let me just go
I
back to
came.
something.
Go ahead.
Let me go back to something that Gregory said. You said you've been working since you was 14 years old. So let me explain something to you guys. I don't care how much money y'all made. I don't care how many hours you worked. When you was until you became 21, your parents was always responsible for you, and there wasn't no question about what they was going to do and what they wasn't going to do. Because
I don't deny that, but
yeah,
I
I
had a
know that.
baby at
I
17
know
and
you don't
everything.
deny that. I'm just making that clear. And let me just
Listen, having a kid don't make you grown.
and let
They
me
That
sure
just and let me
don't.
just
This is what
Exactly.
I'm saying to you. Me working and all that other stuff, and I was having disputes with my mother at that time. That's because I was living a fast life.
you so
Yeah,
That
let me
would make
just
sense.
let me
that's
give
what
y'all
I'm
I'm
telling you
talking
my
about. The
whole story.
Joneses.
So
let me
You
give y'all
watching the Joneses do. You know, I was watching some program. The 16-year-old moved out of his mother's house because he didn't want to follow the rules. Went to his friend's house because his mother let them do anything they want to do.
that
So he
sounds like
stayed
Rob.
with them.
Hmm.
Let me tell y'all something real
so
quick.
I could never paint the picture of the clothes situation is what I was saying. So that's why I said you could, that's a whole different situation when Uncle Rob was saying about her ripping the clothes off. That's a whole total different situation from
Yeah.
her
It,
being like, or
So
me talking
Dave,
trash to
man,
her and being like, hey,
something.
hold
can
on,
you buy
Robbie.
me some clothes? I was
Hold on,
way
I
one
hear
older.
Gregory. I
hold
hear
on
him
one
clearly,
second.
but you said I was. You said it sounded like me. What
No, no,
Timmy
no.
said?
No. He said he was just responding to what you was
No,
saying.
not Gregory. Timmy said something. You was like, that sound like Robert.
No. That sounds like a lot of people. But let me just give y'all some facts. So you do understand that this whole teenager title is new. This back in this did not come about until 1940 or 1942. That's when that came into the picture. Because before then, at 14 years old, Gregory, as you said, y'all was considered to be grown at that point. Wasn't no what's name. Once you got to that point, you was grown. There wasn't no school and all that other stuff. If you didn't go to school, you was out there working with dad on in the field or something like that. So a lot of people back then they was getting married at that age. You know, they have responsibilities. So this whole teenage stuff came out later on. Came out in the 1940s. So yeah. So if we go back to those laws back then, yeah. Under those laws, it would be no such thing as neglect and child abuse and abandonment if you kicked your kid out the house at 14 back then. Because according to those laws back then, they was grown. Now, maybe that's where these kids get it twisted from because they feel like if you talk to any adolescent, what they call them, tweenies, the children that are in between 13 and 12 or something like that. Those
Call what?
kids,
Tweens?
tweens or something like
Yeah,
that. Those kids all feel like that they're grown. You can't tell them nothing. And again, you can't have too much conversation with them because they will tell you, I don't care to hear what you have to say. How do you deal with that situation, Sean?
Sorry about that. Yeah, so in my house, my kids, I never stifled their way of thinking or anything like that because I told them, I said, you can think what you want to think. You have that right. But I better not hear what you're thinking. I better not see what you're thinking. And that's it. Like you can think what you want. If I tell you to go do the dishes, in your mind, you can say, I don't want to do no damn dishes. But guess what? I better not see that that's what you when I say go do the dishes, get up and go do the dishes. Clean your room. You can have all the thoughts in the world about how you feel about me telling you to clean your room. But at the end of the day, that room, the actions that you're doing is showing me that you're cleaning the room. So yeah, that was clearly understood between me and mine.
It's a good thing because in some households, some parents tell the kids get them do the dishes, and they turn around and look for the dry dish. The dish is in garbage.
Whose
All
house?
the silverware, all the pots and
Oh
Oh,
wow.
is that what you did, Robert?
Yeah,
You're
he
like,
might have
where's
did it.
everything at?
He
Oh
might have.
wow.
He might.
Probably most
Let me be
likely
clear
did
about
do
it. That
that.
son did. That son, his kids probably did. That ain't
Nope,
did
nope,
Wow.
and live to
nope.
talk about
I'm
it.
just saying there's some households that deal with that.
Well, you know it ain't.
Mine haven't.
I'm
You
I don't
know it
definitely
think
ain't.
gonna
You
Sean's
know it ain't in
having
none
because
of.
I'm
there's
definitely gonna tell
consequences.
our mother that you threw a couple of her
Wow.
damn China
She said
dishes
y'all been throwing
away.
away her stuff all these years. We come to find out it was
And
you,
it never
Rob.
was me. It never was
And
me. It might have been
Oh,
others.
Patsy, let me ask you. So in your house, did Mama Rector allow you to speak your mind? Because you had told her, "I'm talking right now." You're on the phone, and she telling you to hang up that phone and come and do something, and then you turn and tell her, "I'm talking right now."
man, then my face would meet with her hand. The back of her hand would come across my face.
Mm.
Pimp
But we knew
game.
better. It's like you got it, and we were on the phone talking, and mom's sitting to get off the phone and go do something. Yeah, you told the person,
I'll call you back.
see you later, and you got off that phone and did what she said. There wasn't no question about it.
Well, what
try
about you, Tanya? Was you allowed to tell your parents what you was gonna do, what you're not gonna do?
I didn't spend any time with my mother. My mother was hard to talk to. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and I could not tell her that.
So Big Mama wasn't going for that.
No, I mean, I got awakened out of a sleep because they said it was my turn to do the dishes, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I got slapped on the
Yeah.
leg.
Slapped
Get your
awake.
ass up and get those dishes done. I had to go to school the next day. This was at like 2:00 in the morning.
They didn't
We
Yeah, I
know
care.
know.
those.
We
We know those
yeah, we
days.
know that feeling. Timmy.
Yeah, they didn't care.
No, you didn't care, Timmy.
What?
We
What you
was talking
blaming me
about our
about now?
sleep several times at 12, 2:00 in the morning, thanks to
That wasn't
Timmy.
my fault. That was your fault. You
That
didn't
was
think
your
you could have
fault.
did your part. You could have did your part. You didn't have to wait on me.
It
And
was
then
your
there was
turn to
times
take out the trash, Timmy.
and even if it was your turn to take out the trash, then you was too scared to take the trash out.
No,
Right.
no. Let's be clear
Cause
about
you
that. Let's get it's
cause Bird,
confession
he was
time.
scared of the neighborhood rats that
No.
was jumping out the
That's right.
damn
It was the
dumpsters and
rats.
shit.
See. I took the trash out. I just
You
didn't take the trash to where the
yeah, you just
designated
threw it
spot.
down the hill.
Yeah.
No, I took the if that's if I went that far. Because
No.
sometimes I
So
took
Now
it.
y'all
now I
understand why
know
I
where
didn't take
now
the
I
trash
know
out.
Sometimes
now I
I took
know
it
why
upstairs to
there
the
was
roof.
trash down the
You was putting that
fucking
trash
in the
on the roof.
basement.
I just
Down
told
the
you.
basement,
Sometimes I put it on
down
the
the
roof.
basement. You know where we used to slide down on 90, the back of
It's a
90, the basement shit. He was throwing the trash down there.
No, I didn't go to that door. There was a red light there. That red light means stop. I didn't go there. Like I said, I if I didn't take it to the top of the hill and chuck it, and wherever it land. It wasn't my problem. Let's take the trash out. So I didn't get caught. Was no problem. So now the nights when it was cold out and it was my turn to take out the trash, I took it up to the roof. I'll get to it in the morning if I care to. That's where I used to put the trash at. So one day I remember my father said he came home and he said to us, "Come here. I know y'all ain't putting that trash up on that roof."
Because Dave and them,
I
because Dave,
look,
because
I
Miss
got mute,
Liner
Tanya.
and them.
Yeah, no evil. See no evil. This don't apply to me,
Because
but it
Miss
don't apply
Wine
to
and
everybody.
Dave goes up there. Dave was going up there,
No,
and
Timmy,
he went up there.
I'm not talking about
I'm
90.
He's
talking
talking
about
about
Miss
I'm talking
Wine.
about 80. I'm talking about
That's
80.
what I'm talking about, Miss Wine. Oh,
I'm talking about 80 games.
oh, nah, because EL and them did the same thing.
Yes,
Mm.
now you telling on people. I was just telling on myself. I wasn't gonna mention who I saw do it, but
They always doing
now
it.
you don't put it out there.
All of them was doing it. Everybody up on that third floor was doing it.
See, that's sad. That's what made it dirty. And you have the problems with the rats, the
Oh boy.
And the
community,
roaches.
the
And
And the
people.
Robbie,
roaches.
and you never did anything because you was the perfect child.
I was the only child.
Yep, the only child to die, he was perfect.
The
Let's
only
go to
child that caused a lot of heartache when you had her go get her damn dream team and got you kicked out of school and
good,
shit.
Timmy. That's a good segue because we were just about to talk about school. Let's talk about education. So today, children can tell their parents, I don't want to go to school no more. And that is the end of it. That child just drops out of school and no one says nothing. If that child decides today is the last day I go to school because they bullying me, I'm tired of them talking about me, I'm not going to school no more. Was you guys, and I'll go to Tanya first. No, I'll go to Patsy first and then Tanya. Patsy, if you didn't like school, was you able to tell Mama Rector that you wasn't going no more?
That wasn't even a debate to even fathom because what mom said is what is gonna go in the house. Cause she paid the bill, she did everything. So in her house, her rules, no question asked. You going to school,
Tanya, what about you?
I was going to school. I wanted to go to school. So that
right?
was a way, that was a way for me to get out the house.
Let the church say amen, amen. What about you, Sean? Could you tell your parents that you wasn't going to school no more?
Absolutely not. I enjoyed school, so I had no problems with school.
What
But
about you?
no, there was no talking like that in my household.
Bert, what about you?
Again, I believe I can only speak around elementary. Absolutely not. No one does that. You just got bullied and you got beat up or you fought back and that was the game. Again, a tragic turn came in my life and I became my own person. And I did drop out of school for a very short time. And I used to pay crackheads to come to school and sign me in because I was late. And I signed my school transfers. I basically had to do all of this after middle school, maybe sixth, seventh grade. It all became about me. So I didn't, you know, I
Yeah,
didn't have to
you
influence
didn't
about it.
miss that much school in middle school because I was in your class. You went to
I
school.
know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I dropped out of school in like the 10th grade maybe, and then I went back and signed myself back in. So
Yeah, you was lucky.
but now 16 years old, you can sign out of school. You don't have to go no more.
Yep.
They don't even got a sign out. They just don't go no more, and don't nobody come looking for them neither.
Yeah, because
Like
you
what
know,
we did.
I was hearing about kids missing like 30 days of school, and I'm like, where's the truancy officers at?
They don't hardly
That was
have
Right.
back.
them
That
anymore.
was back in the 70s. They'll come grab you
Yeah.
and put you to school. But the
Right.
parents, and again that can come to parenting too. That's you allowing this
Yep.
child to not go to school no more, obviously. But now again, if your kid's saying I've been bullied and they're threatening me and I'm not safe because of the smoke and the drama, that's something different. We'll try to educate you another way. They do have homeschooling, they do have alternative
Yeah.
stuff you can
Tutors.
go to. So it is different now. So if your kid, the bullying level is to an all-time disgrace right now. People are killing themselves over being bullied, and people are getting killed because they got to travel through a different neighborhood to get to their high school. So, it is a different deal now opposed to when we were all growing up in school. Everybody, I'm assuming, is in their at least mid to early 40s. And if not, everybody's a lot older as well. So it was different time back then compared to what these kids are going through now. The level of drama in school is bigger than that. Nobody was that I knew of. Maybe mid high school people were bringing guns to school, but these kids are in middle school bringing guns. You know what I mean? So it's a whole new differential in education right now. So that's why a lot of these schools, these big giant schools, are all broken down into 3 or 4 complexes now to make it smaller. Every big high school is broken down into 3 or 4 separate schools now.
Yeah.
West English, Dorchester, all of these big high schools are all broken down into smaller sectors for kids to be more safer.
All right. So, what about you, Mr. Brimage? Did you have any situation?
There's only a few damn schools left any damn way. Yeah, a lot of schools done closed down.
A lot of charter schools are taking over. The private sector is stepping in because the city can't manage it.
So Robbie, I'm gonna ask you this question a different way. How do you feel about parents today to just allow their children to stop going to school simply because the kid decides they don't want to, they got to get up too early to go to school?
I think that if your child is starting to say that it's too early for them to wait for school, then you really need to probably sit them down, talk to them, and ask them, is that truly the only problem? Because that could just be the tip of there's a problem underneath of that. I'm trying to say, so that could be the least of problem. It could be something else like bullying. It could be that your child is not just became lazy, but they're doing some type of marijuana smoking, or they could be popping pills, or they could be having a little bit of drinks, and they're not interested in school no more. They're interested in partying and just staying.
Let's not ignore the fact that some kids are developmentally disabled, and nobody's going to admit I'm dyslexic or I can't read or I don't know how
they
to
don't
act.
want.
So they
don't want the backlash.
Now you're in the slow class and everybody's laughing at you.
The special edge class.
Yeah.
There's other things that you have to take into consideration.
Yes.
Now, see, I'm saying this now at 51. If you would have asked me this shit at 30 or 35 or 25, I would have a different opinion because I wasn't really as experienced in a lot of things as I am now. So, like Rob said, I just ain't going to school. There's a little bit more to it that you should be connected enough with your child to know this. And if you missed it, then that shows the disconnect. If your son can't read or your daughter can't do any math, or people laugh because I don't read that good, so I'm not going back to school and get made fun of. I get it. Now I get it. I wouldn't have gotten it, but I was that asshole laughing at the special ed kids and making fun of everybody at Westie that was hanging out in the hallways late and then sliding into the second floor slow class. I made fun of all of that as an uneducated, juvenile or adolescent is what you want to call it.
Because we all did it.
I get it.
Yeah, because my thing when we was growing up, you capped or you got capped on. You better be able to have a vicious talk. Yeah, just like everybody else. And again, I knew how to hurt you bad with my words, and then you want to fight. Okay, I'm good with that too. This ain't gonna take long. But either you was gonna get beat up and you was gonna choose your words carefully, or next time they was gonna have something to say about you.
Bobby didn't go to school when he left. He just left the house. He came over to grandma's house and hung out till school let out.
You talking about that day when Amin said that Bobby went to school? He left to go to school.
Yeah, he didn't go to school. He came over here.
Well, I
I'm,
mean,
I'm
And you're a
saying.
proud uncle to tell his father that years later.
Well, y'all need to stop
So
talking about Bobby for real.
y'all
Leave
know
Fat
that.
Man alone. Leave
Y'all,
Fat Man alone.
y'all know that was the. Y'all know that was the neutral zone. Most people could show up there. I mean,
I think we got a unique story though, because as I'm not gonna lie, I was a smart kid, but this is what one of the authority figures used to tell me in high school. I'm like a person that has 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and this is what I meant by like living a
by
fast life.
choice.
I ended up going to like 5, 6 different high schools. I ended up going to 2 smart schools at first, then I got kicked out of the smart school, went to Boston public schools, and it was like a whole different type of learning experience. Because when I was going to the charter school, it was more like a hands-on, smaller class type thing. So I
right,
get why English and all the other Boston public schools are starting to break down, because it's harder to teach a group of 30, 40
30,
kids in a class
right.
and make them all pay attention to what's going on. And they got their own things going on outside of school. Like they might be selling drugs, they might be about to have a baby. Just for my story that I'm
They
saying, yeah, I
probably
mean, so
got these.
you're not
They,
get going to school, but then you want to leave because you want to get to something else real quick. You get what I'm saying? You want to go make a fast dollar or something. So you're not
and
really.
I
But
That's
let
just the
for me being
priority.
a smart
The
person, this is
priorities
why my
wasn't
mother
in
always used to
order.
get involved, because the people that's in the authority figures is telling my mother, hey, he's a good kid. He got these good grades, this, that, and the third, but he just doesn't stay in school. He doesn't
apply.
stay
He
in,
don't
he
apply
doesn't come to
himself.
school sometimes. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
You
He
that's
your
don't.
the
priority
story we
wasn't
was
your
talking about
priority
earlier with
wasn't
the clothes
school.
situation comes into the school situation that you're talking. He was a
So
little bit different.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the peer pressure, because we talked about some of the reasons why kids won't go to school. So some of the reasons why kids do most things that as parents we don't understand. But if we go back to when we was kids, we were subjected to a lot of the same. If not, we wasn't some of the people that was applying the pressure. Um, because I know at one point it was cool to drop out of school because everybody else was doing so that was the pressures of it. Everybody else was they get, and this is the part I didn't understand. People would get up early to go to school, hang out at the bus stop, and then once the bus leave, then they go and wander until it was time to come home or go hang out at someone else's house. Or some of them will
Smoke weed,
go
called drug
all the way to
abuse.
school and just leave. I mean,
Could I answer that?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Um. First, I want to share this. Parents just don't understand. I would say that first. My mom just didn't understand at that time. This was in elementary, I think it was Valentine's Day, and parents just don't understand. Don't understand. Parents just don't understand. I'm gonna say it again. I didn't have no money. I had a girlfriend. My mom's gave me a box of chocolates for Valentine's Day. I walked my little happy go self over to my girlfriend's house, and I said, "Happy Valentine's Day." Got a kiss. Skipped the
Shout
loo
out
back to
to Joanne at the
shit. Skipped the loo back to my home, and everybody was eating candy. And I said, "Mom, can I get some of your chocolate?" She said, "Where's your box of chocolate?" I said, I gave it to my girlfriend. She said, "Put your coat on and go back to your girlfriend's house and get my chocolate that I gave you." I had to walk over to my girlfriend's house and get my box of chocolate back.
Oh,
Parents just don't understand how that made me feel and look.
You want to know how it made me feel?
it still makes me feel right now to this day.
Yes, listen.
Exactly.
I
It
I
made
can hear your pain, Bob.
it made
So
Right, right.
now I'm gonna address Dave's question. Did I think it was cool to drop out of school because other people consider that to be cool? No, I didn't. I just didn't go to school anymore, and I started
Cause
preparing to make ends meet for me. So I was doing a 1-2 punch to be
you
able to
couldn't
buy me some
concentrate.
clothes, buy me some
Okay.
extra food that of my liking I wanted to eat. And that's what I did. And then I started helping my mom's out on her daycare and stuff like that. I wasn't just sitting in a house sleeping all day long. No, I just choose not to go to school anymore. I started
You couldn't
volunteering my
concentrate.
service in my mother's daycare, and I was taking care of myself outside the house to be able to get
But
the
then
clothes I
chicks was
needed
all
and
over
the
you. You
food.
couldn't concentrate. That's why
As a
you left
parent,
school.
but as a parent, you had a
He was
different
already a drug
perspective
addict
as
back
that
then.
was concerned, right?
Yeah, and he was a weed head. And the chicks was all over him. He couldn't concentrate. Hi, Robert. Yep, these chicks are liking me. I can't be in here. They're staring at me while I'm trying to work.
They wasn't just staring; they was touching. They was doing more than that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Sound like the priorities wasn't intact.
They
Exactly.
Not at all.
So okay, let's talk about kids that have to go.
I can't hear y'all.
Who's saying they can't? Kiana, you can.
Kelsey.
Kiana,
That's Josie or Kiana.
you're on mute.
We can hear you. Whoever
Right.
that was.
She's on mute.
So let's talk about first jobs, pay rent, stuff like that.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yes, Kiana.
You've been talking this whole time and we couldn't hear you?
No, I was asking who said it was cool, but I was on mute to not be in to drop out of school. I don't think I heard that
Dave
either.
had made that comment that some kids made it like it was cool to drop out of school.
Yeah, it was never cool.
No.
And so let's bring you to that. So how would you have dealt with that if your son would have came to you and said he's not going to school. He's not going to school no more, and you can't make him go.
I guess.
Everybody on this
She's
line knows
laughing.
how I am. That he would never even pierce his lips to bring
Down
them
here.
out of his
There you
mouth.
go.
But
That's
if
why
There
she
you go.
laughed.
But
Down here.
if oh well wait a minute, he did try to pull that gap year crap. I guess he told his school counselor that he was going to take a gap year between college and high school. And when the counselor told us, we both looked at each other like, whose kid is she talking about? Because that's not our kid. Yeah, that's not happening. So it was either you go to school or you work. You don't get to lay around here and do nothing. Absolutely never. You have some kind of deal. So again, if he was younger than graduating and he said he wasn't going to go to school, well, I guess you can't live here. And I want to know how your life turns out, but that's not an option in this house.
So let's stay right there, Keon. Don't go nowhere. So I read something today about they said planned emancipation. So the good doctor said that it is our responsibility as parents to start not just teaching the kids, but training them at a certain age. You're training them to leave the nest. So at a certain age, I think he said it was 13, that you should start training them. That yeah, there's consequences, and you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go to school, but you can't live here.
And I think you should be doing that before they're 13. You raise up a child
Exactly.
in the ways that they would go.
That's
Doing that when
that's
you
what he's
smack them
saying.
on their butt when they do something wrong. They
And-
learn
Yeah.
it.
And so
that's
if-
the whole life.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's a different type of parenting when you
Put outside in the
when they're little
hallway.
kids. By the time they turn adolescents,
with just
you should start training them. When they're kids, from the time they're toddlers to getting ready to become from 12 and under, we should be teaching them. From 13 and up, we should be training them to become young adults.
That's why that's why the world is the way it is today. Effed up. Because you teach them from all the way until they leave your house. You're still teaching them when they're not home with you. So the teaching days are never done.
Never.
And
right.
your
Exactly.
training days should never be done either. So whoever that person is, tell them to take their certificate and shove it up their ass because they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Well, he might hear
Right?
you if he ever watches this. If he ever watches this episode.
Cause I'm still trying to tell my kids, you know, the right thing to do.
Yes.
And they claim that this is the part where they're saying this is the gap in our communication, because at a certain age we should not be trying to tell them what to do. And again, I agree with y'all. Whose house you not running my house? You not.
And there's a difference between a black household and a white household, because there's a lot of things that you could get away with in one home that you can never get away with in
the other.
I was just about to say that's why Timmy's in the in the garage building a bomb. Crazy.
Oh,
So
no. See, now I beg to differ, because there's some stuff that goes on in black homes too.
I didn't say all.
Yeah.
I said in most.
Now, because when Gregory talked about the bomb, I went to school with a kid that came to school with a pipe bomb, and he wasn't white. He was wearing a trench coat, but he wasn't white.
No, he didn't have a mother who would. First of all,
he's a
my
super
sister and I
soldier.
were talking about this the other day. There was no such thing as a closed door in my house.
Yo, you missed that part. So let's go to you. So if Dave L,
No.
If he would have,
He already answered it.
No, because I'm gonna give it a scenario. So if you was talking to him, basically telling me how to do something, you got me shut the door in your face, what would you have done? How would you have dealt with that situation? Because he's in his room, you don't have to deal with you.
He would have been part of the door that was removed from my house, because I don't play that.
You see how the flying knee came into my door? Boom! And then, you know, she talking about taking the door and him down.
Well, you already know
they both gotta go.
Yeah.
Right?
The door too.
Yeah, the door to the door was part of the problem.
Why the hell you putting the door out?
Because the door came off the hinges.
In other words, her son was going out with that door.
She's trying to tell you on the opposite side of that door, she done took it off the hinge.
Because the door was a part of the opposition, so I'm going to remove that to get to the opposing party.
They both gotta go.
Yeah.
Right.
So that answers that question. So again, let's talk about this whole thing about the rent. You got a job, you get the you're eating everything in the house, and when you come and you buy stuff, you buy groceries, and you put your name on the stuff in the house. I'm talking about the kid that lives with you. I'm gonna say he could be like 19 or something like this. You know, graduated from high school, he or she. They're buying stuff, they're eating all the stuff that you buy, but now you can't touch their stuff. And they don't want to pay rent, because remember, your money is their money and their money is their money, and you can't tell them what to do with their money because you can't control them. How would you deal with that situation, Sean? Sean?
He on mute.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
All right, what was that question? Sorry.
So your child is 18, 19, they done graduated from high school, they got a job, they're working, they're eating everything in the house, and when that's gone, they buy food for themselves and they put their name on it and say no one can't touch it, and they don't want to pay rent, and they feel like you can't ask them about their money because it's their money and you can't tell them what to do with it and you won't control them.
I don't know what scenario that is.
I had that scenario.
That never has happened or will happen in my house. Again, they can think what they want to think. They can feel how they want to feel. But you're not bringing any kind of rules up in here that has never been, that any new rules up in here that weren't already here.
And if they say to you, rules are meant to be broken,
then I get that they're meant to be broken at a different address.
Oh Lord!
All right, Tanya, you said you had that situation.
I had a scenario something like that. Okay, I had a child that had a child, that had a job, didn't. I paid rent, I paid electricity, I paid the cable bill, I bought the food, I bought the laundry detergent. They had access to all of that. I asked them to pay rent. They was paying the rent, but when I went up on the rent, then I was trying to take their money. So I told them it was time to go.
How old were they?
They was about 19, maybe 20.
Mm-hmm. And this is a boy, right?
I'm just gonna say a child.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it,
because
it was the boy, because about this time some girl is telling him stuff and he's spending his money on yeah. So
it doesn't have to be because I watched the female do the same thing and a different. It's just it can be either or, Dave. It's just what it is. People start thinking you're counting their money after a while.
You counting my money, and then you're gonna address me aggressively. It's time to go.
Oh. Josie, you still with us? You gotta take
No.
All right, Gregory, you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, same scenario. Teenage child, well, 18, 19, they done graduated. They're making their own money. They're eating everything in the house. Like Tanya said, they got access to everything in the house, including their own bedroom. They after they eat you out the house, they bringing more food in the house, but they're putting their name on it with rules you can't touch it. And they don't,
Yeah, that
and they don't
sounds,
want to contribute by
yo,
paying any
that
type
is
of rent.
crazy. I mean, I would never have even thought of to do that myself. So my son to do that would be crazy, especially after you done fed this person. I mean, I'll be happy to do stuff for the people in my household. What the hell? That doesn't make any sense.
All right. Bird, how would you deal with that situation? Or have you ever dealt with that situation?
I have not. I'll eat your shit on purpose.
Understand it.
I'm eating all your shit. I'm eating everything you bring in this house. That's cool. Go ahead. I like Twinkies too, motherfucker. Good luck. You better be buying shit on the week.
Let me bring it back to Bird's situation. This is his story, but we experienced this story with him. At his house when he was under his father and his father put ice cream in there, put some ham and cheese in there of his liking. This was where he was supposed to eat. We come over, Birds like, y'all can have sandwiches. We make the sandwiches. You can have ice cream. We eat the ice cream. His father came and said,
Oh, you talking about when he came home and we was all sitting
yes,
in there?
and you would not be eating his stuff up because he did not put that in there for his Birds company to be entertained by or fed.
He told us, he kicked us all.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you, he said it right while we was there. So when it comes to eating other people's stuff, I can understand if they didn't give you permission. But in my household, there's an option. Go like this. We can go grocery shopping together, eat together, or share the food and offer it however you want to eat, offer and drink however you want to drink. But when it comes to you start putting labels on stuff, listen, you can go that route. But I'm telling you right now, when all of your stuff is gone, don't towards mine.
Okay. King, how you feel about that? Same situation. You still with us?
I'm here.
Same situation. They are 19. They done graduated. They got their job. They're making their money. They got access to everything in the house, food. They got their own bedroom. And they decide they're gonna bring home food, put their name on it. Y'all can't touch it, and they're not paying rent because their money is their money. You can't control it.
Well, first of all, if you're living in my house, I'm still buying the groceries. I'm not keeping nothing from you. And more likely than not, I don't want your crap because you and I don't like the same thing. So that wouldn't bother me. Now, if I see something with a label on it with a name in it, it's going in the trash because this is not a group home or whatever. We don't There's none of that. So no. As far as paying rent, that would have been established before he even got a job, because you need to learn how to function in the real world. And there was a difference between myself and his father. He felt like he shouldn't be paying anything, and I wanted him to learn. Now I wasn't
Responsibility.
kept his money. It wasn't being spent, it was being held, but I wanted him to learn responsibility.
Yes.
Right.
And he didn't feel like he's one to be like, he don't want nothing from his kid, and I don't want nothing from him either. I just wanted him to learn how to
Be responsible.
Pay his
be
way.
responsible, and what would happen when he get out in the real world. That
Yes.
Exactly.
All you
So
was doing
Exactly.
is prepping him.
it was more for lesson purposes
Yeah.
and not
That's
for
exactly what
monetary
it was.
purposes. So
Yeah.
we disagreed on that, but I still took money and held it to sides for him. So, but
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
what
sure he tried to turn behind my back and give it back to him. I just put it away.
you know, Kiana, that's what most parents do. They don't really need their kids' money. They only if they really need it, you know, for the household or whatever, they gonna use it. But most people that do that, they don't
You're prepping them
really
to get
need
ready
their
to
kids'
pay their
money
own bills when they're
away.
outside
That's
your
all
house.
it is.
If you
You
never
Yeah,
know,
and
teach
because
them
if
that,
the kids need the money to borrow it, they go here. I got some money that you gave me here. That's for you to go out with. You
yeah, and we
know,
compromised by letting him pay a bill. So that was your bill to
that
take
too.
care of or whatever.
That's
So
responsibility.
yes. So I got my way in the end, and so did he.
Yeah.
Bobby, you was gonna say something?
who, me?
Yeah, you.
No. I said I agree with her. I mean, I believe in prepping your child for the real world to set their mental in the place where they know I have to pay my rent. I have to pay my electric, my gas. I have to go grocery shopping. If we don't have a washing machine in the home, I have to go to the laundromat and so on. You just getting them ready for the real world outside your house. Mommy and dad ain't gonna be able to pay your bills for you. We're trying to keep a roof over our own head and keep these lights on. So you think it's fair for us to pay our way over here and then come over there and here's money for all your bills too? No.
All right, so stay right there. We're gonna wrap this up, and I want you guys to give some advice to these young parents, these new parents, and these teenagers that feel like parents didn't understand. So all you parents, listen up, because the parents that truly understand are about to give you some jewels, some words of some wisdom, some things to help you grow in your relationship with your children. So we're going to stay with Robbie. What would you tell a new parent that is dealing with all the issues that we talked about tonight? Children choosing to be rebellious simply because society tells them that they can be, and there's nothing that we can do about it, and that they're grown when they decide they're grown, and any issues that they feel like they have that we do not understand.
I would say to that group or those people or parents that is of young or old would be one to keep the doors of communication open. Always be willing to have a discussion with your children or child. Never don't want to hear what they're saying, because how would you know what the real issues that they are having? Keep teaching them the lessons of life, how to be a respectful provider, how to keep your bills paid, how to go grocery shopping, how to clean your home, how to just maintain a level of respect for outsiders, and personally how to keep respecting themselves so they can deal with the rest of the world.
Okay, well said. Patsy.
Well, like Robert said, the communication, keep that open between you and the child. But once they breach um that disrespect,
Mm-hmm.
say like you gotta handle it. Like you don't have to always have to him putting your hands on the child, but no, let them know like no, you're gonna do what I say, and you ain't gonna disrespect me in my house. They ain't paying no bills. They ain't doing what they need to do, and you're still the roost in the house. So it's like your way or the highway, and let them know. Uh, you want to disrespect me and not do what I say, or you can hit the bricks.
All right. Well said. Timmy?
Well, what I have to say to everyone, our old new parents, listen, communicate, and compromise, and 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 you know, teach teach to do for self, and when, because when you do for self you feel great, and if you do for yourself you do great for others when you do great for yourself. So that's what I would tell the youngest.
Okay, like that. Tanya,
Yeah,
it's on you.
I'm here.
Yeah, so what type of advice would you give to future parents, young parents, and the teenagers that feel like, just children alone, they feel like their parents just don't understand?
What would I give the children or the parents?
Both the children.
Yeah.
Communication is key.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have open communication and learn to listen. Listen and show empathy and compassion. But to train up a child in the way, in the way to go, and they won't depart from it. You know what I'm saying?
Scripture, love it.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm all about the scriptures, Gotta have a relationship with God, yourself, and each other. Yeah, that's important.
okay,
Relationship is important. Lead with the spirit, not with the flesh.
okay. Gregory.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000% raw. Parents, go back to beating your kids and buying their clothes. Ain't no way you should be walking into the store with your 2 or 3 year old and there's a princess dress and he's a boy and you walking out with that dress. Y'all gotta learn to get back to the discipline part.
Okay. Is Josie still with us?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go to Kiana next.
Yeah. I would say to parents, you can't afraid to be the bad person.
Amen.
Yeah,
A
that's
parent
real.
is not a nice guy job. The hell with
Nope,
what your
it's
book
not.
say.
It's not. Your
I'm not
reward is
here to
at
be a fucking nice guy.
nope. Your reward is at the end. It isn't. It,
Yes,
it isn't always in the middle, and it isn't always in
yes,
the beginning. You gotta be able to be the bad person.
that's right.
Your kid is not gonna like you. They're not gonna be your best friend or whatever. That's okay. I'm your parent, and for kids,
Be mad.
I
That's
would
right.
say your parents have your best interests at heart.
Mm-hmm.
For most parents, they have your best interests at heart. They want you to succeed in life, and they want you to do better than they did. So everything that they're doing is to better you. It might not seem like it. It might take you 30 years to figure out that they knew what they were talking about when you thought that they should have went left and they went right. They pretty much been down the road and they're trying to prevent you from the potholes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well said. I'm gonna go next, and then I'm gonna let Sean go, and I'm gonna let Bird end it. I'm gonna be brief. I'm just gonna say experience is the best teacher. Go ahead, Sean.
Like everybody else said, communication is key. Establish the rules from Jump Street and don't be afraid to stick to them. Stand by your decision.
No.
No, those are your kids, but you learned the not necessarily the hard way, but you know what you was taught. Don't be afraid to instill those same things.
Love it, love it. All right, B, go and take us home.
I'm not gonna say I'm not communicating. I mean, my communication is me telling you what needs to happen and how it's gonna happen and it's gonna get done. I'm sorry. I mean, the alpha's coming out in me. I'm in control of the pack. I'm providing for everybody. It's going to be the way I need it. And as Kiana said, I'm not doing it to be an asshole. I'm doing it because your best interest is in my heart. Whether I need you to do your chores and get off the game or I'll break it, or whether I need you to whatever. It's just simply building blocks to a foundation, building that foundation, because they do leave the nest. And what you instill in them is what they'll carry with them. So I ain't saying beat your kids, but discipline your kids whatever way it's fit. I mean, if you have to punish them, take the phone. I ain't paying your bill. I'll send you to school with Bobos if that's what you want. No problem. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I run the pack, and I'm gonna put the fear in you early, right? Early in the game. So at 16 and 15 and 17,
It's
you
too late.
scared. You too scared to even, because you've been knowing your whole life that this person is this way. You know it's coming. I'm not your equal. I'm not your equal. I'm not your friend. I'm not your peer. I'm not none of that. I'm the person that's responsible for the better well-being of you. And I'm going to do what I need to do to make my message heard and make my message felt if need be, which I don't really can say I really like beat my kids, but I had the fear that that would happen. You might have got a snatch and a shake real quick, but yeah, that fear has been instilled into your teens. Probably now they hate me now because of it. I don't know. It is what it is. But again,
Sacred child syndrome.
I'm not Mr. Nice Guy.
You
Get
know,
the
Parents
belt
are,
and the permission
I'm
bond
the parent,
switch.
you're the child, and you do what I say.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
sometimes be when you install that fear at an age so much that they're pretty much very aware.
I get it. I get it. I don't think they'd be in fear of everything because, again, the fear is in me. The fear of life and the fear of anybody else is instilled to never be that way. So all the building blocks, you put the cement foundation, then you add the beams and you add the wires and you build the whole, the whole structure. So again, it's not just being fear of, yeah, you're going to be afraid of me, but you're going to grow up not to ever be afraid of nobody because of what I'm putting throughout these years. The fear is in me. The fear isn't going to be for anybody else. So that's part of all the building blocks. So yeah, and it could oppress them. You may have some issues with daddy now because of that shit. Sorry. I mean, I'm not the nice guy. I'm basically in my role the provider and the disciplinarian. I'm there to pick you up and push you out and keep going when you fall. I'm not here to put a Band-Aid on you. I'm not here to give you a hug and ooh, boo, boo, you okay. I'm not here for that.
Now
I
you
play
get
this
up
role.
and you get up and you go out there and you become somebody.
Amen.
All right.
I
Or
mean,
it's okay.
there's some points where you could be soft, and I know as a man that's probably not thing, but as long as you know that your sternness is not abuse, then
Right. And I
you'll be
believe
fine.
I can tell you the honest truth. I'm only feeling and talking this towards my sons. I'm a definite bullshit jelly roll ass motherfucker when I was growing up with my daughters. I wasn't the disciplinarian, but they were very young growing up with me like that. But I was not the disciplinarian. I was not the, get up, don't put a Band-Aid on that and keep it moving. I'm the don't do that to her.
You better understand
None
what
of
you
y'all better
need.
teach her like that, right? Y'all ain't treating. But that was the building blocks for them to learn how to treat a woman. That was the building blocks for this
how
little
they
girl
should be
to be
treated.
introduced. So this little girl, her first introduction to love was from her only man is me.
That's right.
So it was introduced how to be loved. So yes, I was definitely chauvinistic, raising my kids. I wasn't an iron fist, pick your ass up and keep it moving with the girls. The girls are very, delicate and sensitive and hugs and, love. You got a
Yes.
daughter, you know what that type of love is when they
You
first
better
coming
believe
up.
it.
They fall down, like you said.
Right? That
Yeah,
goo breaks your heart.
So
That
so I
melt,
when you
wanna,
that
see
melt,
him fall
that will
down, you
melt the
going,
hardest. It'll melt the hardest motherfucker's heart out here.
so
Any
I,
little girl growing up in their life.
so I want to ask you this so we can end this because I want you to end this. Ask you one question. Did your parents in work?
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, as far as success and college and military shit, I'm gonna say, yeah, no children, focusing on like career and finance. That was originally all part of the foundation. School, no
they're
kids,
not in
have a
jail.
career. This stuff has been like forced on them that they probably hate me for it. But it all played out. Now, are they mad at me over the shit? I'll tell everybody and be honest. Absolutely. I'll tell you guys all now, none of my kids really fuck with me but one. I'm the meanest motherfucker in the world growing up to them. Okay, but no one's got babies. No one's been in jail. No one's fucking, everybody went to college. Everybody's working. Everybody's okay. No one's rich. No one's whatever, but everyone's doing very well for themselves right now without the help of myself or their mother.
so
They
what?
live
So
it.
Well, that
They
was a
tri-
success.
that's
So
what I was about to
that's-
say, Patsy. That's what I was about to say. So I would ask
But
the rest
it comes with baggage
A
for them
price.
growing up that this man
But
that they were
that's
supposed to be
okay.
whatever pushed them so hard, pushed them basically out of my life.
Let me tell you, like I
But
said,
I can live with that. I can live with that than being an active parent and watching a fucking loser grow up.
and because that's what you do as a parent. You
Or an addict or a fucking zero in life. I can
Right.
live with them
In
not
and out
talking to
of
me and they're
jail.
successful than just, wanting to be a fucking zero.
See, and enough said. That's it. Like I said, experience is a good teacher, and you live with the decisions you make that nobody else wants to step up and do. This is the Still a Man podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. God bless you. Good night.